Okay, on a more serious note though, as you can see, we're in American Truck Simulator. This is the interior of the Kenworth T680. Kind of like Jenna, but kind of not. So, you can probably notice that some of these gauges, actually let me start the engine first. Anyway, back to what I was saying before. Some of these gauges that were on board Jenna are not present on board Jenna. Alright, let me rephrase that. Some of the gauges on board real Jenna are not present on board virtual Jenna. Fact of the matter is that there's just so many possible ways to configure a truck that there's just like even with Blue being a 2014 T680 compared to Jenna being a 2016. We're talking about Johnny B. Good's Blue, by the way. You know, Jenna's got a few more gauges than Blue does. There's just no way to configure the trucks for every possible configuration, so I'm willing to accept the fact that they had to insert the stock Kenworth interiors seen on their website. So, as you can see on the lighting control switch, we do have 5 switches. You got the 4 ways, and then you got another 4 switches now on board Jenna. From what I've noticed, there's only 4. You got the 4 ways, and then 3 of the switches. I think one of the switches is for trailer lights. But looking on board real Jenna, there is a 5th position. It's just that we don't actually have an actual switch for it. So, I mean, physically it's there. It just doesn't do anything. It's the one on the far right. But a couple of things I noticed though. Let's go ahead and turn some lights on. So there's the parking light, and then we turn the headlights on. As you can probably see, the switches do not flip the right way. As you're seeing on here with virtual Jenna, the one switch is flipping down, and really it should be going the other way. It's supposed to flip up. So, as you can see, I'm turning on the 4 ways, the hazards, and as you can see, the switch doesn't actually do anything. What's supposed to happen, and I don't know if they did this intentionally or not, but I'm pointing it out anyway. The switch is supposed to push up, and then on the bottom there's a red light that pops up. Oh, one other thing about the light switches is they should actually, when they're turned on, they should turn green. Each individual switch that's on would turn green. This is not what's happening in this case. And one other thing I noticed, at least as far as the Kenworth T680, the turn signal A does not sound like a turn signal from an actual 680. B, they seem to go a little bit fast, although ironically I noticed that the AI seemed to have this down a little bit better. One thing I noticed though, the mirrors are, the nose mirrors are what really irritate me, because as you can see with these nose mirrors, half of the mirror you can see the truck. This is not the way it's supposed to be. Unfortunately, if I go to the mirrors control setting, go option 2, and I try moving it, nothing happens. It's as far as it'll go. If I move it to the right, I could obviously move it to the right, but I move it to the left, watch, it moves, and then it just stops right there. It doesn't go any further than that, so that's what really irritates me. And then, let's see, the one on the left, the bottom left, again, it should be able to go farther out, but for whatever reason here it's not. So I'm just kind of running through the T680 here. So, one other thing I noticed, the cruise control. there should be an indicator light. Well, first let me turn on the engine brakes, and that, as you can see, the light for that is on. Only problem I have with the cruise control is next to the engine brake, you should have that little icon for the cruise control, and on virtual Jenna that doesn't appear to be the case. It's not there at all. Even if you do engage the cruise control, it's just not physically there. I did notice, however, watching a couple of videos, they did include it with the Peterbilt 579, so I'm a little surprised that they didn't do that with the Kenworth T680. I'm going to turn the four ways off. One other thing I noticed, if I turn the lights on, right now our parking brakes are engaged and then now they're disengaged. If we go to external view, you see, when I engage the parking brakes, the brake lights come on, and then when it disengages, it's going. I don't know why it does that. And also when I pull the power back, it puts on the brake lights. Again, I don't know why it does that. So, this is the, supposed to represent the utility 3000R, but from what I'm noticing, and I imagine it's probably a trailer licensing issue, the number of bulges on the side of the trailer is incorrect. There should be, right now you see 5 sets of 2. There should really be 7. One I know I noticed. And another thing I noticed with the nose mirrors, this one I'm a little surprised. I mean, yes, I do see some T680s that have the chrome nose mirrors, but I do also see others like Jenna, for instance. She's got the black plastic, so I'm surprised they didn't include that. Another thing I noticed is the fuel economy on this thing is just terrible. When I'm doing 65 miles an hour, RPMs are a little bit off because here, bearing in mind we're talking about a T680 with a Cummins ISX-15 engine, 10-speed. On real Jenna, when I'm doing 65 miles an hour, I should be putting out 1300 RPMs, but in here on virtual Jenna, for some reason, I'm only getting 1600, which obviously you're putting out too much power. Actually, let me see if I can demonstrate that. I should probably be in gear first. So let's actually pull out, if I can get out. That is. I don't even know how it got in here, actually. Oh, one other thing I noticed, the fan switch on the right side is missing a little slider thing. You guys have to kind of look closer, but let me get turned around and kind of show you what I'm talking about. We're in third gear now. So, let me find a highway. Actually, let me pull up the heads-up display so you guys can see what gear I'm in. See, right now I'm in fourth. Yeah, I'm like right here. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, let's go on this highway. I'm gonna turn the engine brakes off, because that's only doing like 47 miles an hour. And then in 10th gear, we're now doing 52 miles an hour, and we're only getting 1,200 RPMs. This is not correct. Because with real Jenna, at 55 miles an hour, I would be getting 1,100 RPMs in 10th gear, or if I was in 9th gear, then it would be 1,500 RPMs. So this is a little inaccurate, and of course that kind of cuts into my fuel burn significantly, especially if I get up to 65, if I can even do it in this demonstration. By the way, I'm using a flight controller to run this, so my driving may be a little bit off because the flight controller is for planes, not so much trucks. Probably gonna get a speeding ticket for this, whatever. I'm kind of trying to prove a point. So we're at 1,300 RPMs already, and we're only doing 54 miles an hour now. If I get to 65, which I should be able to do, then see, we're hitting 60 now. Just barely. Okay, this is not gonna go so good. I just crashed. But as you can see, we're already at 1,500 RPMs, doing 60 miles an hour. If I could get to 65, which I'm probably not going to be able to do if I'm on the wrong side of the road. And now I'm running people off the road. But alright, you know what? There's a nice stretch of highway. If I can stop! I don't know what I just did. Alright. Get out of here. I'm like trying to demonstrate something, so I'm not even gonna save this. I only really shot the video to try to prove a point, so I'm gonna try this again. This is not gonna be pretty, by the way. And of course it would rain on my demonstration, because why wouldn't it? Alright, let's turn the wipers on. See, we're in 10th gear now, only doing 50 miles an hour, and we're already pushing 1,200 RPM, which really shouldn't be happening like this. We're on Interstate 5 now. And as you can see, we kind of struggle to get up. Wait. Yeah, whatever. Here. See, at 65 miles an hour, we're already at 1,600 RPM, which is not exactly realistic. And that kind of explains why we're burning up all our fuel on doing 72 now. Not good. Other thing though, the engine brakes, all I did was just turn them on, and they're already being applied. With the Kenworth T680, I don't know about any other truck, and I don't know if this could potentially be a simulator limitation, but on the Kenworth T680, even though you've just turned the engine brakes on, they don't automatically come on as soon as you let off the accelerator. They actually, once you tap the brakes, then they come on. And then they'll go off if you hit the accelerator, hit the clutch, or just your RPMs are too low. I know on the Peterbilt 386, as soon as you let off the accelerator, the engine brakes would come on. So, yeah, again, I don't know if this is a simulator limitation that, it's either one or the other, because it could just be wired in such a way. I don't know if it'll make any sense anymore. I just pull the parking brake so I don't roll backwards. Let's So I mean, for the most part, they actually did a pretty good job with the interior. I mean, I'm quite impressed. Looking at the interior, it's actually quite realistic. Just a couple of things that could use some work. The other thing is they've tied in the DEF with the amount of diesel, but I mean, again, I imagine that's just a limitation because, I mean, you start throwing DEF into the equation and it's just going to confuse matters even more. So, yeah, that's pretty much a quick overview as to other thing I did notice though, with the back to the headlights, you got the as you can see, only one switch actually moves. But if you're turning on the marker lights, you really have the switch next to the headlights, because the switch that moves controls the parking lights, pretty much the lights on the bottom of the trailer, and your headlights. The switch next to that controls the marker lights on the top of the truck and trailer. So, yeah, I don't know if that's a limitation that they can fix, or it's just, yeah. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick review of the Kenworth T680. There's really no way to zoom down or pan down towards the floor, so you really can't see the stick, but I mean, there's a bunch of different configurations. I mean, you could have a 10-speed, 13-speed, 18-speed. It'd be a little complex to try to simulate, so, well, now I'm just rambling on, so, hopefully you guys enjoyed this overview. If SCS could address some of these, that would totally help, I feel. So this is Captain Kevin. Thanks for watching. Good day. So before I forget, a couple other things I just thought of just now. So as you can see, all my lights are turned off. And if I turn even one on, it actually turns on the instrument panel. With the engine shut down, this actually should not happen. And then watch, with the lights off, I'm going to put the key into the on position, but not actually start the engine yet. As you can see, the instrument panel does not light up until I turn the lights on. On the T680, this actually should not happen. The instrument panel lighting should be on regardless. And when I start the engine, as you can see, the headlights turn off as the engine's starting and they come back on. From what I've observed, and bear in mind I drive the T680 for a living, the headlights actually stay on. So another thing I want to show you is I'm in neutral now. My air tanks are pretty full. Parking brakes, as you can see, they're applied, they're released. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to intentionally drain the air . As you can see, the brake warning light comes on, and I'm still draining the air till there's nothing left. I'm going to go in it first. And despite the low air, I'm actually still... Alright, so now we've lost enough pressure that we can't move the truck. However, as you can see, the parking brakes are actually not applied. On these trucks, they should actually automatically apply once, generally around 40 psi. As you can see, I'm low on air pressure, and I don't know why the truck is still moving. Can we gain enough to actually move the truck? I don't know, but let's... drain the brake some more, actually. Let's go all the way down to 0, see what happens. Alright, so now I'm applying a lot of power. Now, it is correct that at this point the truck should not move, however, the parking brakes should automatically apply. And that's really not what's happening here, so I'm kind of applying power here. I'm full throttle at this point. Still at a fairly low PSI reading, and the truck can still move, so this is not correct. I don't know if there's a way to fix that, or if that's just a system limitation, so yeah, that's all I've got for now.